talked about the natives and the festival, the show that's coming up. What, if you talk a little bit more about the show, but also for people that don't know or kind of realize what was the significance of the native tongues when they first kind of came out, and what has their continued significance been?
All right. It's kind of cool because I think like I was like one of the last ones in that Native Dawg, you know what I'm saying? So when I met everybody, like I was already the biggest Native fan, you know what I'm saying? And the Natives stood for blackness. They were James Brown. Black is beautiful. They were the Black Panthers. Feeding kids breakfast. Teaching you your rights. They were Althea Gibson and John Carlos and Arthur Ashe and Muhammad Ali. They stood with us. Native tongues made being you the coolest thing you could be. They were about empowerment. They were about learning. They were about growing. They were about apologizing. It was about fighting a good fight. And for a lot of years, I've been really hurt because we fell for the okie doke too. We got to a place where individually we were okay. But that's what everybody else did.
Mm-hmm.
We just did it under a different manner. The object to me was that we become a microcosm of what we're asking society. And we didn't do that. And I'm sure I have, my blame to shoulder as well. It's bugged because, like I learned amongst the native tongue, it's kind of like a totem pole. And at any given time, whoever's at the top of that totem pole can kind of dictate how we're going to move. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be at the bottom of that totem pole and tell us how we're going to move.
Right.
You can't even be in the middle of that totem pole. But you can be at the top and be like, yo, this is what we should do. So even inside of myself is the fight to get to the top of the totem pole. Because I learned things that I'd like to share. I didn't realize, like when I was coming through, I'm doing Arsenio Hall show, and I'm a hot commodity. I can bring all the natives out with me. They'll fly them in. I want the native tongues to rock with me when I do The Choice Is Yours. I want them all to be there. That's going to be the crowd scene.
Yeah.
I didn't, like there's things today that these goofy kids do that will bring all of the wrong things for way too much money.
Right.
We had an opportunity to bring some of the right things for a little bit of money, and we didn't do it because we didn't know how powerful we really were. We didn't know what we were capable of. We were just glad to be in the room. So it's only now that I see in some of the things that, and not to say that that's would have been the end all that I got, my friends. Nah, but there's just buttons that could have been pushed. There's envelopes that could have been, really, all right, Nike, you want me to do this? All right, well, I need you to put this money in this community center. You know what I'm saying? Or you want me to do this? All right, cool, I'll do that. But a portion of what we're doing needs to go to da-da-da. And I'm totally down to do that. But we got to commit something to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And these are the things that we just were blind to. But we don't have to be blind to anymore. And they don't even care. Word. It's just if we do. So that's the things that, I want to do today. I'm trying to get my paper. I'm trying to be comfortable and want my kids to go to school and, all that shit too. And then, yeah. But
college is expensive.
Oh, yeah, all the above. But, what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I don't feel the need to own an island. You know what I'm saying? That's never been my idea of success. Who the fuck wants to have an island and probably be the only person? You know what I'm saying? You just lost. You know what I'm saying? Let's just change the world, man. And that's what Native Tongue is. Native Tongue has the ability to be a microcosm of the change that we want to affect. And now that we have children, we see plainly you can only lead by example. You know what I'm saying? Saying it just really doesn't cut it. You really have to walk it. And sometimes that's painful and hard, and you have to try again, or you have to reroute, or, you got to figure it out. But you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because, because our kids deserve it. Yeah, we got to do what we got to do. All right. And that's just how I look at it, man. That's how I look at hip hop. To me, maybe I hope it keeps me around for years and years, because for me, it's a great reason to get up every day.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And don't get twisted out, I'm going to get up this crusader and no shit like that. But I do get up with the mindset when I look at things, and, I'm seeing much bigger than that particular thing. I'm seeing where it fits into a puzzle. I'm seeing where the puzzle fits on the wall. I'm seeing where the wall, fits in the house.
So how do you, City Max, your son, raps. Obviously, my kids like watching the Angry Birds track a lot. And obviously, DJ Premier doing the beat, pretty incredible. How do you... Is he interested in having a career in hip-hop? And if so, how do you raise, especially a kid that now his influence is hip-hop? He sees, he sees what the success it could actually bring. He could see he's obviously surrounded by a very talented father who could help him with his writing, game, but gets to the point where he probably can easily do what that formula that he sees out there. How do you raise a child to be a hip hop artist in this kind of atmosphere, but to be more of a leader and not just kind of follow that grain?
Well, Sid, I guess it has a lot to do with his parents. Sidney Max at 12, you put a picture of Lil Wayne in front of him, he wouldn't know who he is. You put a picture of Nicki Minaj in front of him, he probably wouldn't know who she is. definitely not most artists. He's never watched BET. He knows of no reality show. He knows who Showbiz is. He knows who DJ Premier is. He knows who Sadat is. He knows who Jerobi is. He knows things that are palatable to him. He knows them because I've introduced him to them. So even beyond artists, he knows them as people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of it on the artist side. Now, Sid loves hip hop, but he only hears what I play for him. Just like me at 10, 11, 12. I grew up on my parents' music.
Mm-hmm.
When he goes to find something to listen to, it's usually the music behind a game.
Mm.
Like he's intrigued by a variety of things that I never would have thought he, like totally be into. He literally knows the titles of these, really mechanical sounding, this, like, he knows who made it and this and the other, like, he's thorough to that degree. And the rap that he does take to is kind of game based.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's much more in tune with gaming, and even gaming, he only gets that on the weekends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
He's a 12-year-old boy. And, like, we don't really allow the world to take that from him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, like, because, yeah, it's the only one he's going to get. Especially, I guess, maybe just my upbringing. I snatched my first pocketbook at 11 years old. I grew up with much older cats. At 9, 10 years old, now I was 10 or 11. I left Astoria Projects with my friend who was 12 or 13 to go get his little brother in Brooklyn. On a train. My mother didn't even know where I went. When I came back at dusk. Imagine you're 11-year-old.
I know, yeah. That would be having a heart attack right there.
Right. Yeah, she's crying, and after she hugged the shit out, she beat the shit out of me. Like, but I can't imagine, my kid going through. So, it was so important to me that he had a childhood, like a lot happened in my life that I don't really, delve into as far as, just the reality of, the street and of the world. But I borrow from in writing.
Right.
Like, I don't have to tell you verbatim what happened for you to know I went through shit.
Right.
I touched the same block he touched. Oh, yeah, I got a couple of dollars over that way, too. Or, oh, yeah, I bumped my head just like, yeah, everybody bumps their head. I bumped mine, too. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I don't have to tell you for you to feel that. And that's what Sid is. Sid is going to be that. Sid is going to be that kid where, and he already sees it because I explained it to him that, there's a lot of ways to say something. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, you don't have to say it overtly. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be blatantly anything. You know what I'm saying? You can very coyly, very slyly get your point across. Logistics will always win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, be honest, be true to yourself. I'm trying to make sure he's got a foundation of just strong characteristics that matter. He'll be able to figure all that other stuff out, I think. And on top of this, what's dope to announce as well is Sid has a project that we're about to put together.
What? Wow.
And
great. It's awesome.
what's crazy about it is that it's with the grandson of Showbiz.
Oh, that's
Gonna be his DJ.
That's all. Wow. That's awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Show's doing the beats, and me and Sid are gonna jump behind pen and pad.
Wow.
And yeah, we're literally about to start this project, and I can't wait. You know, I literally can't wait for it to be done. You know, like I look forward to us doing it and just seeing it come into, you know, and it's gonna be official. You know, like Showbiz is doing, like,
yeah,
I'm so happy,
yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying, like, it, you know, and Sid's amped about it. You know, me and him were talking about song titles, and we're talking about, you know, just different little ways to kind of flip little hooks. Like, we're already building before we even get to the music of it. We're talking about concepts, and you know, there's a couple of song titles that he already kind of threw at me, and I'm like, I see you, you know, like, you know, like, and he's a sharp kid, like he's amazingly sharp, and you know, like these are the things that are really just, man, it's life for me, man. Like, you know, like, and that it might be successful is cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's not even, you know, like what it's about. Like, it is successful that it gets completed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm sure it's going to do whatever it does. But, you know, more than anything, I just look forward to what it says. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've kind of resolved at this point that I'm much more playing for catalog than I'm playing for a hit record. You know, like, and it kind of gives me like a good feeling inside. Like, you know, like, I'll probably be one of those cats that, you know, like, you know, years from now when I'm not around, that cat's just bump into his catalog and be like, oh shit, like, I didn't know. You know? But that they find out eventually is cool. Because, you know, yeah, like, because I love when I bump into an artist that, you know, like, that I didn't realize just how dope they really were. Like, you know, oh man. So many. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of, for me, happens because of this podcast, is that you kind of, you know, you live life, you forget, or you just like, you know, you have kids, you don't, you know, you're listening to Kids Bop, so it's not like,
yeah.
And you go back and you know, do this research, and you're like, oh wow, that's like,
right.
I mean, did you see what he just did there? You know, like that type, you know, that type of, there's something that I read about when I was preparing for our interview, and it was about the original version of Tribe Scenario. In my understanding, it was like 9 or 10 people were on it. De La, yourself, Chris Lighty even. And the story is that Phife even says, like, everyone killed it, but then they had to cut some people, and we got the version we heard in the album, but everyone was okay with that. Is that a story you remember?
There were like 3 or 4 versions. Literally. Now, in my opinion, the version that came out was the right version, and like that was like very close to the original. I don't know if they flipped a verse or 2 on it. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that might have been the original. Like they did a bunch of remixes where Tip kind of just let the beat. It wasn't even remixes. Like, you know, like Tip just kind of let the beat ride, and different cats that might have been around, you know, like just got an opportunity to spit. I don't think he really did anything with it. I think maybe he was just looking to see if something significant came from it. I personally wasn't crazy about what I had spit.
Do you remember any of it, or kind of, is it one of those lyrics that you?
I remember. I remember. I kind of liked what Long had spit, but I wasn't. A lot of the stuff that I did back then, I was, you know, like I was still coming into myself. you know, and I think even getting used to hearing myself, you know, and this is early, you know, this is early in our careers. And even how to attack the mic and stuff like that, I was still learning and this, that, and the other. So it might have been one of those verses where I just felt like, wasn't crazy about it. So I don't think I ever felt bad that it never came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, that's the record. Oh, that's a different record. You know what I'm saying?
Fine with me. Good job.
You know, yeah, like, you know, but honestly, like, I don't remember much about it. And, you know, like, I smoked a lot of weed back then. You know, like, I'm not that dude today. Not that my memory is so much better, but, yeah. You know, like, but, yeah, it's just to say, like, you know, and it was a time, this is my word, there's probably a ton of various mixes that just are in a vault somewhere, like, you know, in the different record label vaults. Like, we did so many mixes for different stuff, man. I recently got some slaves of some of our original 2 inches, and so right now I'm having all of them transferred, and this is like original black sheep materials. I'm dying to hear
what it is. That's awesome.
Because, you know, like, there's stuff that never came out. I did this record about Rikers Island that was amazing. And I don't know what happened to it too much. I hope that it was amazing. Like, it was just so...
Was it diss record about Rikers Island?
Huh?
What did you say, a diss record about...
No, it wasn't a diss record. It was a record.
Oh, this is a diss record. I was like, amazing. You dissed the entire Rikers Island.
No. It was a record. But it was about... It wasn't about the... It wasn't a bravado record. It was a reality record, like, and it was dope, man. Oh man, like, you know, stuff, you know, when you're young, you know, just keep moving, this and the other, and you know, we didn't realize what masters even meant working on our first album,
right?
You know, and even the way they kind of tell you, you know, oh, you got 11 points, or you know, you got 12 points, and this and the other, you know, like. They're not breaking out. That's 11%. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think, you know, oh, you hear, oh, I got points though. I got points. You know, like, yeah, like there's, you know, 89 points or percent going elsewhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, like, you do all this work, you know, for the group to get 11 points, 12 points. You know. That's that De La math, you know, like making, you know, 10 cents off the dollar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like, that's the game. That's the game. You know, when you're young, oh, yeah, we're going to give you 12 points, 11 points. Sign here. That doesn't sound like percent. You know, like, you know, something just simple as that, you know, makes the playing field uneven.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's an uneven line now. You know what I'm saying? But you're none the wiser, because now you're asking someone to break down, okay, what's that breakdown to? And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's 11%. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even need to ask anyone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you're looking for someone to convert it. So how much, you know, what's that mean?
What's the math? What's the algebra coming up? What's going on?
That means here, some Vaseline. You're gonna need that. You know, like, yo, you know, but, you know, and these are the things, you know, these are the changes that we need to affect. You know, these are the realities that we at least need to speak to. You know, like, I wasn't one of those guys I never felt like I had to make you small for me to be big. You know? And I'm proud of that.
So, a track that I really like, that I continuously play, is Peace Phife off of your Tortured Souls project. You know, features Red Alert, Chi Ali, Sadat X. It's your tribute, obviously, to the great late Phife Dawg. You knew Phife, you collaborated with him. What do you remember most about him, but what did you learn as an artist? Kind of, what's that one thing that stands out that you learned from Phife as an artist?
Growth. Phife, from the first to the second to the third album, 3 different individuals. And yeah, man, like, stay open to the process, stay committed, believe, try. Trust, truth. I've had a moral compass that I didn't really see or care to see when I was really young around him. Because I guess I was really young around him and, you know, a little dumb around him. But he had a moral compass that some people might have even mistaken as something else. But it was a real strength. And set an example I was proud to grow to understand.
Another artist you've collaborated with and worked with is Chia Lee, who I keep, because I follow him on Instagram. It's weird to say that. Yeah, I see a documentary is coming.
Yes, it's amazing. Yo, oh my
soon
goodness.
To be released.
Yo, the fellas that did the documentary, yo, big up to the fellas, man. Tom, y'all, the documentary is amazing. The Fabulous Chia Lee is coming. He had a West Coast release, and that they're putting together an East Coast release, and hopefully with a concert in conjunction with it. Yeah, like, I'm really proud of Chi. You know, like, life is life, which means, you know, shit don't stop. But for him, it started again. And
that's awesome.
That's what's up.
What do you think the significance of the Chia Lee story is for not just hip hop, but just for us to know?
That redemption is yours to attain. And it's something we all need to attain. On various levels, in various degrees. We all need to do better. We all fuck up badly sometimes. But we all have the ability to be honest with ourselves and with those that matter to us, and to fix that, to redeem our walk. And I don't even say that in a spiritual or religious way. I say that in a way of just being people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, one of the things I learned in life is, like, you know, like, we have all of these things set up, you know, men this, women this, and, you know, let alone colors and sexuality and all that bullshit. But I'm growing to find it's all bullshit. People do shit that people do, for better and for worse. Doesn't mean anything if you got a dick, you got titties. people do shit that people do.
Right.
For better and for worse. Across the board. And, like, we all got to accept each other on those terms. You know, that we're all people. And how the hell we expect to change anyone if we can't change ourselves?
Mm.
You know? We got to change ourselves. And stop letting, you know, society dictate reality. Because society is not reality. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like these cats, they giving it to us all wrong, and some of us are feeding it to our kids. We need to redeem ourselves. We need to fix this. This is not right. This is not who we are. This is not who we're supposed to be. And we got a lifetime to fix it. You know?
Yeah. When did you come to that? Like, when did you come to that reality? That that thought? Or was that always with you?
No. Just is.
This is. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, you know, trust me. And, you know, I be trying to figure out, you know, a lot of things as far as, you know, things that I'm sure we both kind of relate to as far as, like, having a platform to be heard.
Mm.
Next to Kylie's lip gloss. Next to Instagram chick with a tremendous ass.
Right.
Next to, you know, a cup of codeine and the rhyme that comes from that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's hard to be heard sometimes. But that doesn't mean we don't speak.
Yeah.
That means we just speak louder.
My last question. I've always enjoyed your lyrics, and I'm wondering if there's a lyric that you've written that speaks to what you just talked about, or if there's a kind of a lyric you've written where kind of reminds you how good you are at doing what you're doing.
I once wrote, for you to say I'm nice, it's just repeating.
That's pretty dope.
I feel like I'm a master chef at this point. I'm, 5th degree black belt. I'm the professor. I'm your ballet teacher. The composer. I cook Michelin rated food for the world to taste.
Awesome. The legendary Black Sheep Dres. As always, thank you so much for being in the library with Tim Einenkel.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely appreciate this, man.
Always.